Hey, everybody, welcome in. This one is going to be a very interesting one. I'm going to try, once again, explain what I've been talking about for 4 years. MicroStrategy is my third ever video. And this will be an interesting one. I'll make sure everything's working here. Stop playing in the background, making sure the audio works. But this is a groundbreaking analysis on, I tried to build an appraisal of MicroStrategy stock as if it was a Fortune 500 company. And I'm going to break all that down and show you what the value could be if they continue doing what they're doing. Also, I'm going to try demystify what we're looking at here. This is maybe the beginning of a new revolutionary bond market, and I'll explain as well how that works and how they have amassed so much, how they are raising so much. People are paying them to give them money. It's nuts. Market cap is nearly $100 billion, and they're about to drop another $42 billion on Bitcoin. Could this be a new financial paradigm that the world has never seen before? The infinite money glitch, the stuff I've been talking about for a long time. Saylor is at the wheel. So let's jump in. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Sean Donnelly, for being here in the chat. This will be a fun one. And yes, I'm excited to talk about this stuff. Don't buy for a long time. And hang on, let me get my slides ready. Make sure I can make everything work. By the way, I'm going to do a second video today. Let me know in the comments below. Do you want it to be on Solana or Bitcoin? Let me know. Your vote counts. I've got both ready to go. I got so much stuff to talk about. And thank you as well to Patreon as well. Paul Lanfear, I joined Patreon today. Thank you for being part of the family. It's been incredible. We'll talk about Patreon as well. One of the things that's happened of late too. Now, this video is inspired by this little podcast. You can see it if you go to the Bitcoin Therapist. It's a short clip. It's 4 minutes long. And Michael Saylor explains the MicroStrategy Premium. And a lot of people don't take the time to study what this company is about. Even gurus in the space, like Bitcoin maxis that know capital markets, still don't get MicroStrategy. So again, I will do this like Money Glitch version 426, explaining it all, breaking it all down. So what I did was took the information from this podcast, a very brief sentence, broke it out, and created a financial model around it. So here, this is what Michael Saylor said on the call. Yield is $7.3 billion so far this year in earnings delivered, but earnings are not in cash form, they're in Bitcoin form. And the company is growing at more than 75% a year. So how much is that company worth? How much do you think the company is worth? Sorry, I tried to write it verbatim. And then you layer in the Bitcoin position that's growing at a 40% compound annual growth rate. The company generates billions of dollars in value per year in hyper growth mode. Now, before we continue, all right, I want to stress this. Everything can go to zero. Bitcoin can go to zero. MicroStrategy can go to zero. The question is, what's the probability? That's what you need to get at as an investor. What is the risk reward and how do you balance it? And why did I make the conscious decision late 2022, early 2023, just to go hard with options into MicroStrategy? This is part of it, and this is part of what people do not see. So breaking down what Saylor said here, and sandbagging it to hell, I came up with this. So I hope Michael Saylor's okay with it, friend of the channel. So this is my MicroStrategy conservative valuation if it was an S&P 500 stock. Remember, everybody, a stock is valued on the expectation of future earnings. Remember that. We'll break down what that means. Their earnings, though, aren't from selling widgets or donuts. Their earnings are from buying Bitcoin from free money that they borrow for nothing and watching it appreciate because fiat's going down. Fiat has no floor. Fiat is going to zero. Bitcoin is scarce. It's almost like a dumb trade, but he's cracked the code now. Dumb as in, why doesn't everybody see this? So let's get into my model. So if you imagine the projected earnings, net present value, with sandbag numbers. So the net present value of Bitcoin yield over the next 5 years, discounted at a 10% rate. By the way, discount rate is normally about 6% or less. And a combined 75% annual growth rate, which is very substantial. And if you assume 15% increase in the total value of Bitcoin holdings, and that's also significant, but 40% is what they typically grow at, and you get an estimated market cap today with that discounted rate over 5 years with a 75% CAGR and only 15% annual increase in the value of Bitcoin holdings, only 15%, not 40%. You get the total market cap of the company, combining these two factors, is approximately $208.8 billion. So therefore, the company has more than 2x upside. Not saying it's going to do that, but trying to explain what people who are capital market professionals see, what the rest of the world does not see. So I've been trying to explain this for many years, and I'll try again. Hopefully the penny will drop now with that. And this is the CAGR of Bitcoin. 4-year rolling compound annual growth rate. Currently, it's 50%. The worst CAGR ever for Bitcoin is 24%. Remember, it's harder than ever before. I'm almost shaking. Stock to flow is like 112 now. All right? It's like real estate. It's hard. And therefore, the CAGR should technically go up over time, not 40%, maybe more. Currently, it's 50. And for this analysis, I assumed only 15%. Okay? Now, the question is, and this is what I've been trying to understand. And, you know, Michael Saylor is dropping all the breadcrumbs. And let me walk you through. A lot of people here who watch this channel probably don't understand how a bond market works. But remember, the bond market is huge, huge. It's basically people who lend money to get paid oh God, my brain's like a small fee on it, a coupon. I was going to say compound, a coupon on your bond. Okay, you know, for the largest time in the world, if you imagine the world being 40% of the world is bond market. So the bond market's toast because now people realize fiat's going to zero. Therefore, they don't want traditional bonds anymore that pay 4% or Treasuries or whatever you call them, or Bund in Germany. But here, I'm going to walk you through how maybe MicroStrategy and maybe other players will recreate a brand new bond market. Okay, so they are now a significant player in the bond market due to its unique strategy of convertible bonds to fund Bitcoin purchases. All right, they basically borrow money, pay people for their money, and then they buy Bitcoin with the money. And this approach has made their bond offering highly attractive to investors for the following reasons. One, lower risk compared to direct Bitcoin investment, because by buying MicroStrategy's convertible bonds, investors gain indirect exposure to Bitcoin without the volatility of owning the cryptocurrency directly. Also, they get downside protection. The bonds offer a fixed return and the potential for repayment of principal, providing a safety net that direct Bitcoin or stock investments do not. And third, upside potential. If Bitcoin's price rises, investors can convert their bonds to MicroStrategy stock, potentially benefiting from that upside too. And institutional appeal. These bonds allow traditional investors and institutions to gain crypto exposure through a familiar and regulated financial instrument. And finally, insane demand. MicroStrategy's recent offering was up from 1.7 billion to now 2.6 billion due to high investor demand, indicating a massive appetite for this type of investment. This combination of low risk, huge upside, and bond offerings being oversubscribed is the way it's going. Now, Saylor also did say that this is infinitely scalable. Very important to remember that. So I hope people got that. That's critical. And the money that's coming in, the oversubscriptions are insane. Every time they go to market, they're oversubscribed. And I actually said, I said in a tweet, maybe this is the tweet. Yeah. I had estimated oversubscription up to 2.5 billion from 1.7, and now it's 2.6 billion. But it's at 0%. Okay, 0%. It's free freaking money. Everybody's clamoring over the ability to throw money at MicroStrategy. Throw it. Okay, that's how broken the bond market is. They prefer doing this. And there's also rumors out there, this is from Chris from 21 Quadrillion, bondholders don't mind paying. Rumors are circulating that the next MicroStrategy convertible note will offer a negative interest rate. Bondholders don't care about yield. They just want the upside with no risk. I hope people get that. It's all upside. Bitcoin is hard. Bitcoin is scarce. Money is just beginning to ramp up. I've never been more bullish in my life. 2025 is going to be insane with treasuries, ETFs, treasuries, sovereigns, treasuries, pensions. Boom. It's not a retail game, as I've been saying for a long time. But there's more. There's more. So first of all, MicroStrategy just became the most traded stock on the planet from Bitcoin Magazine. Again, more than Tesla, more than Nvidia. So not only is everybody clamoring to get their hands on the Bitcoin bonds, but also to trade the stock, which is insane. Again, people still don't understand it. You got the Reddit people, you got the Bitcoin freaking out, you got the maxis freaking out. There's people jumping in front of freight trains, which I never advise to do. This is a freight train. And there's also more. This I shared the other day. Michael Saylor, he laid out his plan to raise $42 billion over 3 years. Okay? He already has grabbed 66% of 2025 spend, and he's about to do another 2.6 billion, which will take it up to nearly 100% of, no, well, I don't, anyway, 75, 80% of the spend. He's going to keep on upping the ante. It won't be 42 billion. It'll probably be a lot more, and it'll be oversubscribed. And as he said as well, in his exact words, Saylor believes this is an infinitely scalable solution. He says he doesn't see any problem in how they could raise, after the 42 billion, another 100 billion more capital, and then another 200 billion after that. Again, monstrous step changes in raises. Okay, this could be a new black hole, and you know I love black holes too. So this is where we are going now. Let's see how big it is already. And this is a chart I shared a few days ago. But MicroStrategy treasuries are exploding. When I shared it, they were down way below Exxon. Now they're already a $32 billion bag, and they have as much cash as General Motors, which has a ton of cash. Tesla has a ton of cash, 33.6 billion. Nvidia, 34 billion. Soon, MicroStrategy's Bitcoin bag will be more than Nvidia and Tesla's cash bag, which is monstrous. But look up the channel here a little bit. Look at Microsoft, 78.4 billion. Apple, 157 billion. You got Warren Buffett, 300 billion. These are all sitting on melting ice cubes. And guess what? Guess what? This is happening at the same time. So the bid is not just coming from Saylor, but also the ETFs. Yesterday, the ETFs gobbled 8,988 Bitcoin. Yesterday alone. That's 20 times daily issuance. 450 Bitcoin are mined a day, and the miners aren't selling. The miners are now beginning to do MicroStrategy playbook, stacking Bitcoin. Where are people going to get the coinage? I'll do an OTC desk update shortly. I reckon right now it's down around 110,000 from 150,000 Bitcoin. At this rate, the cupboard could be bare by the end of the year, and then you know what happens. Then the Samson Mao prediction comes through. If Michael Saylor is looking to blow 42 billion on Bitcoin and there's nobody selling, the bid will keep going up. That is the miracle that we are in. Okay, I want people to get that. Also, more treasuries are incoming on a daily basis. Again, Bitcoin Magazine publicly traded Hoth Therapeutics buy up to 1 million worth of Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. Nothing stops this train. Exactly. Nothing stops this train. Treasuries are going to come fit, fast, and furious. We haven't even scratched the surface of the treasuries that are going to flow in. And guess what's happening too? Saylor is road tripping to Redmond to see the Microsoft board next month about helping them add Bitcoin to their corporate treasury. Now, I know they had a vote. Does this mean that the vote is positive? If that's so, that would surprise me. But again, look at this list. Okay, if Microsoft drops coin on Bitcoin, that's it. That's the game theory. Everybody will do it. You can't not do it. You can't not do it. Take your crappy fiat, drop it into Bitcoin. You can't lose at this rate, especially if this tsunami comes. Who's saying if it will? And, another fun chart. No video would be complete without a chart. What goes up 3,400% in less than 2 years? You know the answer. You know the answer. And that's been quite profound because I learned a new term over the last 2 weeks that I didn't even know before. It's called FU money status. And this is we had so many people that were newly minted. We track them all here every day, put them on a little list. Of course, that list will never be seen by the world. It's on a little piece of paper. Only I see it. We have now over 1,500 newly minted MicroStrategy millionaires on Patreon. 1,500. The community now a lot of people are just telling their bad bosses goodbye. Bye-bye. Have a good life. And this is my third video ever made. It was a MicroStrategy video. So that's the story today. All these videos will be recapped to the Substack. Thank you to the team behind that too. What an incredible time to be alive. Be safe, everybody out there. As I've always stressed, this is about being around to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Bitcoin is just under 94K. We were about to hit 95K, but there's a little bit of a sell wall there. We'll see. But drop a comment below what you want to see next today. Either a Solana video, dedicated Solana video, or dedicated Bitcoin video. There's tons of news on both as well. But this is basically the most important Bitcoin play right now. So enjoy. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Hit the like on the way out so other people can see this. This is an important time. And thank you to everybody all over the world. We got people in Denmark and Sweden and Netherlands and Liverpool. A few money, yeah. I'm still learning new words as an old fart, which is pretty impressive. Thanks all for coming. Take care.